Hi, have you ever had this experience where your morning, the time you have that you're beginning your day, whether it's driving to work or walking back from the bus stop or driving back from school from dropping your kids off, have you ever felt like, oh, I wish that had gone better? Hi, I'm Lori Cook, and I'm a storyteller telling you my experiences of being a mom of three girls. And today I am sharing an excerpt from my book, A Mommy's Road. Obviously it's backwards, so in the glare, but that's what it looks like. And I'm sharing this because of a few questions I got on my group, Mentor Moms Insiders. And it seems to be the feeling of always seeming to struggle with the same thing. And always seem to circle back and kind of have to approach the same things, telling your kids the same things, having the same struggles as a mom. And the hardest ones are the ones in the morning, which ends up starting your day on the left foot. And it's such a frustrating situation because you're determined to be more positive. You're determined to have a better day. And it just seems like it always circles back. So I'm going to read the first paragraph in chapter 10 of my book because I can't say it better than I wrote it a couple of years ago. So here it is. It's the chapter's called Delegating Decisions. So believe it or not, having the same struggles over and over with your kids is because you might be trying to make their decisions and they're trying to make their decisions. So you're having a power struggle between whose decisions are they? Are they their decisions or are they your decisions? So here's the paragraph that kicks off that chapter. As a busy mom, I found myself fighting the same battles over and over again. That just drove me crazy. I would try to think of a fast solution to the problem. And many times that solution was actually a choice I was asking the girls to make. I was just trying to stop the repeat behavior. What I was actually doing was giving them options and teaching decision-making skills. So what I mean by that, and I will give you a couple examples, what I mean by that is even though I felt like I kept having the same battles over and over and over again, what I was finding was I was actually trying to teach my kids to make their own decisions. So I was actually asking the same question over and over, but trying to let them make the decision. But they didn't have confidence in that decision. So I needed to guide them to make the decision. Thus, I was asking the same question over and over each day, each morning. And I felt like I was constantly having the same power struggle. But in all actuality, I was actually teaching them to make a decision. Okay, so this happens in all ages of our children. So my couple of examples may not hit exactly where you are in your life right now. So I'm going to try and take a young children and older children, but this happens at all different ages. So if I'm not sharing a story or an age group that you're struggling with, in the comments, just ask, what would you do if, or what about this? Am I teaching decision making? And the reason I'm saying you are teaching decision making, or you should be, is that we are trying to raise independent children. We are not trying to train dogs. We are not trying to get them to do exactly what we want them to do all the time. We don't want to tell them what to do when they're 18 or when they're 20. We don't want them coming to us and say, what should I wear today? Of course not. We want them to make their own decisions. So we're teaching them decision-making skills, or we should be. And that is what I'm talking about today. So my first example is young children. And one of the first things that I, as a mom, had to learn to let go of, and I'm embarrassed to say this, but one of the things I now look back at and realize I was very controlling about was what they wore. I wanted them to wear a matching shirt to their pants. And so I hung them together. I folded them together. I was very determined. So if they chose a shirt, I chose the pants because they went together. So I was very anal about it. And as I look back, I was kind of surprised. I am kind of surprised, but it just made my life simpler. And so then, of course, it started to be a power struggle when they were 2. Maybe before that, but when they were 2, I want to wear this. No, well, I want to wear this with this. And it became a power struggle. And I quickly said, do you want to wear this or this? So in other words, they had 2 choices. I picked out the 2 choices and they picked. And it worked with my first one. Okay, do you want to wear this or do you want to wear this? And I pulled out a whole outfit. Well, with my second, she would always say this and this. In other words, this top with these pants. Drove me crazy. No, these go together. It's this or this. And so I actually hate to admit it, but I never let go of that. It was a power struggle constantly. She was choosing, I want this, but I want the blue pants and I want the pink shirt. But the pink shirt went with this because the next day, this shirt didn't go with those pants. And it just, I thought, made my life crazy. So that became a power struggle and I was not letting go of that. With my third, it was even more crazy. In other words, she wanted to pick her outfit so much so that I constantly was power struggle. She wanted lots of choices. And so it was just constant. And finally, because it was the third, I realized I was kind of being a little bit controlling, but she wanted all the options. She wanted how most women shop. I want to go to every store and figure out which pair would be the best. She wanted to look at all her options to figure out what she wanted. As a 2-year-old. And what I finally decided is I opened up the sock drawer and let her pick the socks. I said, okay, do you want to wear this or this? But what about, no, you get to pick, of all the socks you could pick, but which outfit do you want? Which this or this? And then I let her pick whatever socks. And I remember I felt like I'd grown up. I hate to say it. I had grown up as a mom when I was at a play group at the park. And one of my other moms go, Lindsay has pink socks on. Yeah, she does, I said. Oh, and I look over and I realized why the mom said it. She had pink socks on with her yellow outfit. It doesn't go together. And I smiled and I'm like, I grew up. I let her decide. It doesn't match and it doesn't matter. So that's where I realized that I was controlling them and trying to help them make a decision. I let her have all the options with socks, but I controlled the outfits. And I hate to say I didn't change that. Over time, of course I did, as they got older and got to choose more of their own outfits. But that is an example of how a power struggle kind of turns around to be the same battles over and over and over. So now let's go ahead and look at something when the children are older and you're kind of still trying to control what they're doing and who they're hanging out with perhaps or whatever. So I'm going to look at a power struggle when your kids are older and perhaps it is in junior high or almost junior high and you're having a power struggle over homework, turning homework in, and assignments. Well, again, who's controlling this? Whose decision is it? And the number one thing is you have to let your children have the consequences. So, are you controlling their homework so much so? How many times have you asked them about their homework, if they've done their homework, if they have their homework in their backpack, and if they get home from school, if they've turned their homework in? I don't know what age this could be. Every person, every parent might be a little bit different, and every child might be a little bit different. My 3 girls certainly are. So if you find yourself asking those same questions over and over and over with your child, stop. If you're having the same battles over and over with your child, stop and check and see with yourself, within yourself, whose decision is it? Are you teaching them decision making? So with homework, number one, make it a routine. Make it a routine that is just what happens. So I really believe in homework time at home. So if your child doesn't have homework, that's fine. They read or they do something that's a weakness of theirs. Perhaps it's handwriting. So they write. But there is homework time every day and you participate rather than nag them, rather than constantly going back and forth with them about their homework. So you have a homework time. And so it teaches, number one, it teaches your kids that they're going to be sitting at the table doing this. So they might as well bring their homework home to do it, because they're going to be forced to sit at the table and do something anyway. So they might as well bring it home to get it done. Then you have a routine of clearing the homework at the end of the homework time, or when the homework is finished. And clearing it means putting it in their backpack. Not you, not the mom, the child. Again, it's their decision, and you're teaching their decision making. Then you be quiet. You don't bring it up the next day. You don't ask them afterwards if they turned it in, because if they didn't, they would have the consequences at school, and thus they learned the lesson. So please comment below if you have questions, if I've kind of left you hanging. But those are two examples of the same battles that you might be having over and over again with your children just in the morning, that start your morning off on the left foot, and now they're at school and you're feeling bad because actually you said goodbye to them, screaming at them about one thing or another, and you're sitting at home feeling bad because that's not what you want. It was just a small thing and you lost your temper, or just started yelling, or whatever it might be. To help you have a morning that you want to have, and to start your day how you want to start, you need to just kind of analyze the same battles that you're having. And perhaps it's a battle you need to have because you're teaching decision-making skills. In other words, what I mean by that is it a battle of saying, do you want this or this? If that's the case, then it's an okay battle. You're teaching them decision making. You're not really battling, but you're kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's, I'm sorry to say, part of parenting. But just make sure if it is a kind of a conflict, if you're not feeling good about it, that's when you need to analyze it. I hope that you were able to gain a couple insights this morning, and comment below if I can answer any questions or give you a more direct answer to your specific situation. Hope you're having a great day.